Hi there, welcome back. It's Sam. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, good day everyone. I hope y'all are doing well. I've really been just kind of like taking you guys around and really showing you my plants and doing tours and just trying to keep you guys in the loop. And I'm also trying to keep y'all updated with a lot of these plants that I buy as time progresses, plants that I order especially. I've really been enjoying doing consistent updates and just showing you the progress of these plants as more time passes that they have arrived in my home and in my collection. I have a nice little variety of plants to share with you today. So yeah, we're gonna do a new leaf tour. I'm gonna show you some of my favorite new leaves on some of my plants. I would say it's gonna be fun, okay? I am gonna enjoy talking about these plants. All right. We're gonna start today's video off with a special guest, an honorable mention, if you will. A brand new plant to my channel, to my collection, to my home. This is Anthurium pterodactyl. Anthurium pterodactyl. And I've seen this Anthurium all over the internet and other people's collections and such, and I really liked it. I considered purchasing it online a couple of times, but I'll tell you this, the last few months when I would go into my local plant store, Euphorbia, gosh, I talk about it on and on, I know. They have like a little trolley that's like their clearance trolley. They will have plants that they have marked down on this little trolley. And it could be plants that they've just had for a long time that haven't sold, or plants that look a little crispy, or maybe the plant hasn't grown very much. I think they had like a clarinurium or something for a while, but it just had like little crispy leaves. But this Anthurium pterodactyl has been on the clearance trolley for several months. So you can see all the markdowns here. So that's not a 10, it's actually 40. It got marked down from 55 to 40 to now 35. Every time I went in, I was tempted to get it, but not when it was 55. And even when it was 40, because it looked bad. It hadn't put off any new leaves. And it had like maybe one or two leaves, and they were just like completely crinkled like this, crisped up. The time before last, I almost got him because I seen that he was still in clearance. He had gotten marked down to 35. And he had put off a new leaf finally, and it was like perfect, but it was way smaller. It was this leaf, but it was small. It just came out. And so I almost got it, but I went with something else instead. So I went in for my birthday just this past weekend. It was still there, and I seen that that new leaf had like doubled in size, and it's so perfect and flawless. For $35, I was like, it's time. It's the only one that they had. And the workers were like literally so happy. They're like, yay, we have been hoping that somebody would finally take him home now that he has pushed out this new leaf, because he's just been here for so long. I can't take credit for this leaf. I can't take credit for this, but I just wanted to introduce him and show, because it is a favorite new leaf of mine. Anyway, meet my new Anthurium pterodactyl. We just do all the Anthuriums there's not like a ton. I think I have 2 more Anthuriums to show and be done with those guys. This one I'm stoked about. I showed you guys an update on my Anthurium Radicans a couple months ago when I did I think it was my IKEA cabinet tour. And I showed you what he looked like at the beginning of this year, like back in maybe February or so. Tiny. This plant has like tripled in size the last half a year. Since I up-potted it, really, it has been putting out 2 leaves at a time. Well, look at it now. Like, look at this newest leaf. Well, these 2 newest leaves, really. But this one is huge. I got a glimpse of it when I was watering in my cabinet the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's been growing like this and putting off 2 leaves at a time for, a few months, but not this size. So that leaf just took my breath away. Oh, it is gorgeous. This is like probably my favorite new leaf out of all my plants that are putting out new leaves right now, I would say. I love how big it's gotten. So I'll do like a little side-by-side comparison of just a month or 2 ago, what it looked like versus now. And look, you can see it's just like, This plant is so amazing. With this texture is everything. Yeah, and there's another new leaf right here trying to unfurl. This guy is crazy wild, and he has a freaking root coming out the bottom, and I just uppotted him in February. What is happening? So yeah, this one's a new leaf too. A little bit older than this one, but that's a good size. This one here makes me so very excited to see the rest. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see where this plant is in another couple months. Honestly, I love it. I could just sit here and like look at this plant in my camera for the entirety of this video, but I won't do that to y'all. Okay, let me just go ahead and show you the other little Anthurium. Now I have a couple more Anthurium about to push out new leaves, but they haven't like even unfurled yet. So what's the point? This is exciting. This is going to be a newer babe. I mean, it's been several months ago. This was it? No, I actually don't remember where I got it, which shop I got it from. But can you tell what he is? I need to find his name tag because I seem to have lost it. This is an Anthurium forgetii crystallinum hybrid, right? Okay, I just found the name tag right here in the floor beside my cabinet. So yeah, it is Anthurium crystallinum forgetii. You can really see in this new leaf, you can't really tell in this one, which has some damage, but you can really see in this new leaf, the forgetii, that rounded lobe, doesn't have the split lobe, which is what I was hoping for. Whenever I purchased this, these are like obviously seedlings, and it has lost most of its original leaves. You know, it happens a lot of times with Anthurium seedlings, unfortunately. When I get them, order them in the mail, they typically do well for me, but they, you know, a lot of times will lose a couple of their leaves. But yeah, is this my first new leaf that he's given me? I think this is actually the first new leaf this plant's given me since I got him. I could be wrong though, don't quote me, but look how perfect that pretty orange brown coloration. Now this leaf hasn't hardened off either, obviously, so I don't know if it's done growing either, but it's cute and it's perfect. I'm just so glad that it has the forgetii characteristics. I love Anthurium hybrids, man. They are just so cool. They're a lot of fun to grow. Okay, I think that's all the Anthuriums I want to talk about in this video. I don't know. Okay, my favorite Hoya. My Hoya Sarawak, which is also from Euphorbia. What is that? I see a spider web, but I'm seeing something that was a little sus, but I think it's okay. So Hoya Sarawak, oh my gosh, has this plant just blown my mind since I brought it in. It has already put off so many leaves. It did not have that many leaves. I mean, it didn't, and it's shooting off new vines everywhere. Like, I cannot get over this plant and brag on this plant enough, honestly. All these leaves are freaking new. But this one has hardened off at this point. Look at this. Is that the biggest leaf on the plant? I genuinely think it is. If not, just about. That one's pretty big, but this one, new, just hardened off, huge. He's a little funky, but we love that. Look at that. Are we joking? But not just that, y'all. Look at this one. Here's another one. Now this one I have to be very careful with because it is still quite delicate. It's brand new. It's not finished growing yet, and you guys know how easy it can be to knock off new Hoya leaves before they've hardened. But isn't that so pretty? I mean, that purple red is everything. This Hoya has it all. This leaf right here though, I can't wait to see this one when it is done growing and see like how big it decides to get. But this one, like, wowzers. There's something about this one I just love so much. I can't stop looking at it. Every time I peep in there, I'm like, wow. Okay, how about we look at a few of my newer-ish plants now. A little update on them. First of all, plant is a nut. Okay? Everyone that told me whenever I unboxed this plant to buckle up and get ready to trellis the crap out of it. It does not stop growing. You are not kidding. It's been what, maybe two months when I unboxed this. This is discolor, and this plant had 3 leaves on it when I unboxed it. 3. Immediately, within like 5 days of unboxing it, it had new vines shooting off, it had new leaves all over it, and it just doesn't stop, and it wraps around everything. It's kind of funny. Well, what a plant. And I honestly would expect this plant to be a little bit more on the difficult side because it is a thin leaf. It's actually a sweet potato. It's a sweet potato plant, which, how cool is that? But it reminds me so much of a cissus, and so I just assumed that it would be a little bit, I don't know, finicky, not quite as forgiving as it is. It doesn't crisp up any leaves. Like, it really don't. This leaf looks like it, I don't know. I think it's just because it was thirsty. I did water it. Maybe that's why those leaves are drooping. If it wasn't thirsty, these leaves would be all standing, like pointed, facing attention, basically. Look at this. You guys were not joking in the slightest. How do we go from 3 leaves to this in a matter of a few short weeks? I couldn't tell you. He has a smell to him as well. He smells kind of sweet, like a sweet potato. No, it does have a smell. It's very earthy, and it really truly does remind me of, like, I don't know. Right here, it almost smells like molasses, or I don't know what it is. It's a earthy, sweet smell. And it's not even flowering. It's just the leaves. The leaves smell like that. I guess it's possible because it lives in my kitchen. It's from something else. I don't know, but it smells quite nice. This discolor is everything. I'm like, okay, now what do? I gotta get a bigger trellis, or I think I'm gonna leave this one in and put in another trellis that's taller, like maybe one of my hoop bamboo trellises, and trellis this, but I just know it's not gonna stay. So if anyone has any recommendations for like trellises or poles or what that I could put this on to kind of keep it maintained and contained for any period of time, let me know. Because yeah, it's just shooting off new vines everywhere. I feel like you really can't even tell how insane it is. And there's just new leaves. Anywhere that a new leaf could squeeze in on this thing, it will squeeze in. I tend to keep a lot of my favorite plants, or even plants that just would need watered a little bit more frequently, in that window and around my sink there, because I like to look at them and be able to enjoy them. And I'm at my sink all throughout the day, literally in my kitchen all day. And this one really does it for me. And then the purple on the back, I love it. I love it. What a good choice it was to buy this plant, even though they packaged it like shit. Wow, that is a really fun plant. All right, in that same order, we have this Begonia who did not ship as well. It was packaged horrible, okay? It looked like actual crap whenever I unboxed it. Now look, we have a new leaf, y'all. So it's taken a while to kind of like rehabilitate this little Begonia. It lost 2 of the other leaves that it had. Immediately they crisped up and like left. This one's a little crispy, but we do have a new leaf, and she's tiny, but she's there. And so I'm really thankful for that. And it's cute. And in the middle here, we have another little growth point. So hopefully she can kind of get a move on and get to growing a little bit faster now that it's kind of, you know, settled in, we'll say. I had it in a little yellow teacup, and it kept uprooting itself because it was just too shallow, I think. It looked really cute in it, but so I just actually moved it to this cute little vessel. And the teacup didn't have drainage, and it dried out like every day. So I'm not so worried about it not having drainage, because begonias, you know, they don't really like to be super dry. So this is more or less an update, and I'm thankful for this new leaf because I was really worried this plant wouldn't make it, or would struggle, which it did. But so that's a really positive update. I just watered this one as well. It also lives in my kitchen. She's droopy, but it's fine. Just needed a water. So another new one. It was either my last unboxing or the one before that. Variegated Syngonium chia pense. I was thrilled to receive this plant. And I think it had the new leaf already coming out, maybe. And maybe even unfurling. I can't even remember. But it did, probably because of transit, take a while for the new leaf to like fully unfurl. It got kind of stuck and such. And you can see it has a little bit of yellow tint to this side specifically. And there's really not much variegation on this new leaf. I have a little patch, a splashy patch up here in this lobe, near this lobe. There's a little bit of speckling down here, but there's not much variegation, and it does look a little yellow. It looks like it's growing off of a different plant compared to the rest of it, but I just chalk that up to honestly being shipped with a new leaf, and I think it was in the mail for like maybe 4 days or so. So it happens as long as the next leaf hopefully looks a little better, has a little more variegation. It does appear, but I could be mistaken, but she does appear to be pregnant. Another leaf right there. So we will see. I'll definitely keep you guys updated. You know I will. That is the new leaf. Hey, it survived. It's here. May not be the prettiest new leaf or the prettiest variegation, but I will take it. It's, you know, it's fine by me. It's still cute, but these leaves are... You guys, this is just like super quick. My patriciae, I considered getting rid of because from the moment it arrived, it just like hated me and I could not figure it out. Decided to keep it, repotted it, got it out of the moss, discovered it had a teeny tiny new growth point. Okay, so after I potted up in soil, that new growth point did turn brown and died off, and I was like, oh man. But shortly after that, there was another new growth point emerged, and look, it's right here. It's crazy because it was stuck and like tangled up. I was doing the inchworm in the sheath. I just like kind of freed it, but there is a little bit of that sheath still stuck on the tip there, but I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want to mess up that growth point. But she is officially about to unfurl. This one looks really, really rough, but it's fine. She's doing it, so I'm happy with it. This is actually my last unboxing. Yeah, Peperomia maculosa. I am obsessed, absolutely obsessed with this Peperomia. So I just want to give a quick update on her new leaves that she gave me. This is one. Look how cute. It didn't get super big, but that's okay. That's kind of like, you know, we forgive. We forgive. Especially whenever they're shipped in the mail. So it's perfect, absolutely perfect, despite being teeny tiny, like beautiful. And this was the other new leaf that I believe it was giving, if I'm mistaken, it was putting out or had just put out this one and this one, I think, when I unboxed it. So we have another one about to come in here, as well as here. There's 2 growth points on this plant in this pot. But yeah, look at that cute new leaf. I just wanted to show that it came in really nice. And it's looking beautiful. And look, I paired it with one of my favorite little purple planters, and it is beautiful. I think this is a perfect plant for this pot. Like, is it not? And it looks so good in my kitchen windowsill. Oh, I love it. Okay, I briefly showed this in a previous video tour, but the leaf wasn't fully unfurled, so I'm going to show it because I am very proud of it. This is my Philodendron SP Columbia, and we have been on a journey together, okay? And so it did give me this leaf at some point, but it has been a good while ago, and it finally pushed out and just unfurled over the last couple days, this new leaf. And it is the cutest little leaf ever. Is it not beautiful? This is like one of my dream plants when it comes to philodendrons, especially. I love, love, love the SP Columbia. So you know, it's a big deal that he's doing better than he was, and he is growing, and that new leaf is flawless. Like, it's perfect. It's a little bit small, but honestly, it's really not. For starting itself over like this, that's like decent. Like, look at it. It's so pretty. So I just wanted to show a little update there. Hopefully the plant can like take off and start growing well now. But yay! Round of applause for this guy. Real quick, and then we're gonna look at a big plant with a big giant leaf that y'all have never seen on my channel, I don't think. Look. You guys know I struggle with getting Hoyas to bloom. This little Hoya Hescheliana, variegated, blooming non-stop. There are peduncles literally all over this plant. All over. I'm trying to smell the blooms. Can't really smell too much, but here's another one. Another peduncle there. There's several peduncles that have just finished their blooming and dropped them. There's another peduncle. There's like dead little Hoya blooms all over in my cabinet. But yeah, there's at least 3 active, like in bloom peduncles right now. So before she started blooming, she was actually just like growing insane all over. She pushed out all these new vines and leaves and like filled out really quickly, honestly. Now she is still growing pretty good, but she's still growing while she's blooming, just not as fast. Like, she's obviously slowed her growth down just a bit, which is normal considering we're coming into fall as well. But this plant is beautiful. I love it. This is also one of my favorite little more dainty Hoyas. Yeah, for sure. Loving it right now. I was just talking to the camera and it was not even recording. Look, my Psychopsis. This is the new bloom spike. It now has 2 bloom spikes, and this thing's like almost 3 foot long because the plant's way over there. And yeah, this is the second bloom spike. It has another one over there that's about to open up a new bloom as well, so that's fun. And then this is a rather new orchid for me. Is it an epidendrum? Is that correct? It's my first and only ever epidendrum, which I think is what it is. And I haven't gotten it to bloom yet. Oh, that scared me because it kind of looked like scale, but it's not. Anyway, look. Looks like there is a new leaf, maybe 2, coming in right there. So this will be my first new leaf in my care on this orchid. So that's a good sign. I've never grown, like I said, this specific type of orchid before. So hopefully I can get it to bloom one day as well. But I will definitely take a new leaf, new growth. That's okay by me. Now let's get up and go over here in my window and look at my massive, giant, huge Philodendron billietiae that I've never really even properly introduced you to, honestly. And the new leaf that he has surprised and gifted me with as of lately, after causing me months and months of extreme stress. The price that I paid for him, okay, it was like $200, but still, like, that's a lot of money. He was huge. You know, really, it's a good price for how big the plant is. And I've always wanted like a giant billietiae like that. But I brought it home. It was in a tiny little, like, I think it was like a 6-inch pot this plant was in. And it could not stand up by itself. It had roots just crawling all out of the pot. It was a mess. So I immediately brought it home and I repotted it. And I did film it, but I never did post it. Repotted it, cleaned his leaves up and everything, and I hooked him up over here in this window. And you guys, within like days, the plant immediately started to decline. It started yellowing. It had many more leaves than this, like many more giant leaves that all just rapidly started yellowing. I was like, oh man, I was really afraid. I was like, I just paid $200 for this plant and it's gonna die already. Like, immediately it's gonna die. I was debating taking it back out of the pot because I was like, is the roots rotting? Like, what's happening? But I didn't, and I'm glad that I didn't, because now it's been like 3 months at least, maybe 4. Now we have this beautiful new leaf. So it hadn't given me a single new leaf. It basically lost like 5 leaves, and then it just sat stagnant for a while. And then I was watering over here, and I just happened to see this giant billietiae leaf up in the window unfurling, and I was shocked. Okay, I just found a bunch of ants. I'm a little bit concerned that this billietiae might have, like, I don't know, aphids, thrips, I don't know, whatever, a pest that produces a sap. I mean, philodendrons produce sap on their own, but there's an ungodly amount of ants on this plant. And my husband just sprayed in the window a few days ago because of the ants. Whenever I just like turn this plant around, you can see a few of them there. So many ants went running on the new leaf, and they're everywhere. They're probably in the soil as well, honestly. So I had to do something. Ooh, look at that. Look at all those ants. Gosh. Look. This is the new leaf it gave me. It's perfect. It's still really good size. Obviously, it's not as large as these guys. You know, for the first new leaf in my care in literally like 3 to 4 months, after losing 5 freaking leaves on me and freaking the hell out, I'm very happy with that. I had to show off my new billietiae leaf. I'm just so proud of him and so proud that he didn't die, man. Okay, I'm just proud he didn't die. Anyway, also here's my new Jose Bueno leaf, which they are smaller, but he's grown off his trellis, that measly little trellis. So you can expect the leaves to kind of downsize a little bit, but the variegation is keeping its variegation very beautifully. And it's still a good sized leaf. Ooh, look at that. Wait a minute. Oh, you guys, there's a nice chunk of sectorial variegation at the tip there. Oh, wow. Beautiful, beautiful. I love you so much. OG plant, forever one of my like main plants. Like, I don't even know. That's not fair. It's not nice to my other plants, but it's true. Don't tell nobody. Amazing plant. Jose Bueno, 10 out of 10. Get you one. Please. You deserve it. I feel like my neighbors are probably watching me. It's dark outside and they can like see me talking to the camera. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. You can also let me know anything you would like to see. I got a lot of people saying they'd like to see like care videos. So I can try to put out more stuff. I don't know. I feel like I take care of a lot of my plants the same way. And it's just kind of like the way that works for me. And so everything else I feel like I've already told or we've already been over. I don't know. But or if there's any plants you'd like to see an update on or you're curious about, yeah, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll try to get to it and make a video about it. But otherwise, I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye, guys.